Oh, hello. I know, little Sausalito. You can chill there. Hi, Marilyn. Ah! Hey, Mandy. Hi, Sarah. Hey, Jess. Hey, girl. Hey, Sue. Hi, loves. So interesting. Like, as soon as I come on live, there's this little thing inside of me that's like, and now be entertaining, and now perform, and now make sure people stick around for the message. And it's like, you know, it's an old program, and it gets to go. Just surrendering into deep trust that whoever this message is for, whoever this frequency and transmission is for, they'll find it, they'll be here, they'll stick around, they'll come back. Hello, hello. Thank you for everyone who's saying hi. So I've just been sitting, I've been catching up on some mastermind calls, a large mastermind that I'm a part of. And I have my one-to-one call with the woman running it. I have my one-to-one call with her on Wednesday. And ever since that call got scheduled about a month ago, I've felt a lot of different, I'm getting so many goosebumps even thinking about it. I've had so many mindset shifts, things falling away, identity pieces shifting, unlocking, cracking open, dissolving, reintegrating, you know. And I've held some duality. I've been sick, you know, but I've also had really big wins. My clients have had big wins, like moving energy, excuse me. And through it all, I've had this deep trust that when I have this call with this amazing woman in this incredible space that's been created, just holding absolute trust and surrendering, that I could feel myself almost wanting to, like, quote unquote, solve the problems, or like figure out what the core issue was, so that when I show up on that call on Wednesday, I know exactly what to say and I get the most out of the call, and that, you know, in front of these incredible fucking leaders in the entrepreneurial and the coaching space, that I show up and that I like do myself justice as the powerful, intelligent, wise, magical creature that I am. And in that, I felt a pressure, you know, like this pressure to define who I am in a short space of time. Now, this has never been something that I felt comfortable with. It is why my bio on my Instagram changes quite regularly now, because I'm like tweaking and refining, and I'll find new words and new phrases and ways of putting things. And I also noticed that it is very natural for me to want to define myself, because there's a level of, like, inherently deep inside of me, there's still this little piece, this thread that was running around needing other people to understand who I am, what I do, what I bring to the table, without me needing to really explain it. You know, like, how can I convey the potency of my essence and the work that I do in the world without like having to try and narrow it down and explain it logically, because that's never felt good to me. And the more that I have felt into what I was almost trying to figure out, I really noticed that in the online world, we want to be more visible, right? Generally, we want people to see us. We want people to witness us. We want people to hear what we're saying. And I felt this call within me just now as I was on the couch. I was like, I can feel there is something here for me around still in some way needing there to be a clean-cut, clear message that I deliver when I speak to people. And yet that isn't the way that I work. This feels like a really powerful moment. My ability to weave magic with linguistics, my ability to transmit energy and healing and magic through the potency of like the transmission of my voice, my ability to weave magic and uncode and unlock inside people's bodies, at the root of them, at the core, in their DNA, the fact that when I speak, it penetrates beyond what the mind can comprehend, and it unlocks things inside of them that they don't even know what's happened. Things just start unraveling and they're like, oh fuck, yes, this is who I am. That doesn't happen with a plan. It's my art. My speech, my voice is my art. And where I work with a lot of artists, right? Got a lot of artists in my audience. I've had great success, and clients who are artists have had great success working with me. I've gone on to do incredible fucking things in their businesses. And I have so much respect and admiration for artists because, as I said, when I was doing a tapping energy channeling for Stephanie Rose Freeman in one of her paid programs, I did a tapping session. And I know a lot of you have come to my audience as a result of that. And I said in that live stream, to me, artists are shamans. Like, you are fucking magical because you have a blank sheet of paper in front of you, a blank canvas, a blank whatever it is you're painting on, and you conjure through your hands, through the tools that you are using, you summon and conjure an image. Where there was nothing, there is now something. Where there is nothing, there is now deep beauty. Yeah, so you've taken the void, the nothing, and you have conjured something from nothing, and you have created it on the page in front of you. That to me is fucking magic. So any artist that comes to me and they're like, oh, money, or there's a business, and what do people think if I put my price up? Like any of the stuff that we talk about, right? I'm like, you're literally a shaman. Don't worry about it. And it's about translating that magic that you have to pluck from the void and create on the page. It is about taking that magic and then just transferring it into other areas of your life. So where I see, and this is what I was realizing as I was sitting here just before, when I see artists doing these incredible things, that is they see what they create as their art. And then I began to realize that and there is nothing there, and then they call it through from the void, and they are the channel, and they create something. That is what I do with my voice. When I speak on a live stream, in a paid training, whatever it is, on a call with a client, I am pulling from the void through my channel, and I am creating art with my words. So for us, and for me, and for you, if you resonate with this, to ever feel that you need to have something in place before you hit go live, or you hit, I'm going to record this audio or this meditation or whatever it is complete bullshit. Because sometimes for me, hitting go live is like, this is the blank canvas. And again, when an artist creates a piece of work, they may have an idea of what it's going to look like. They may have an idea or some inspiration around what they're going to create or what they want the finished product to look like. But even in the sketching stages, if you sketch, you know, in that moment, there is nothing, and then there is something, and the steps in between, there are going to be parts where it looks like you think, oh fuck, I didn't really want it to look like that, and sometimes you kind of go, actually I really don't want that, so you change it into what you thought you wanted it to be, and that is where the satisfaction lives. And other times you see something unexpected and, oh, maybe I'll use that, and maybe that's actually where I need to go. So for an artist to use the canvas and their medium to create in that way, it's exactly the same thing for me when I hit live and I don't know what I'm going to say. I just allow the empty space to be the canvas, and I just allow whatever needs to be pulled through me to come through. And it is not just healing for the people who desire to hear the message, it is healing for me as well. And the thing that really struck me as I was just, kind of sitting here before watching this call from a mastermind, and then just kind of drifting off into my own void space. It's like the call was in the background, and then I just kind of I drifted and I was in my own little void. And I began to realize that I love teaching people very pragmatic, practical things like content creation and all that good stuff. And people know when they come. They know when they come to me with this stuff. We're not just going to talk about how to fucking structure a post, right? They know they're coming to me because they've got some shit that is in the way, and they are called to work with me because they know I'm going to see that shit. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to go, right, you need to just, and then we're going to clear it, unlock it. Now you know who you really are. And then boom, suddenly things are clear. Suddenly creativity is unlocked and you're more in your body than you've ever fucking been. Yeah. So that's the kind of practical magic of it. And those things are fun for me. However, hey Ginger, those things are fun for me when they're fun. And as I was sitting here just now, I was feeling like this craving of a more depth and a deeper conversation and more. And this is not to say that those aren't, that we have very in-depth conversations in there. So that is not what I'm saying, but more about when I show up and when I speak to you like this. I've been sensing since being, unwell, and I had a lot of stuff coming up with my throat. It was really raw and scratchy and hard to swallow. And I was just like, what am I not expressing? What am I, what's going on in my throat? What is this trying to tell me? And for a few days, it really just wanted me to say nothing. It wanted me to just sit back, lean back, and witness myself, my life, witness the conversations that are being had around me. What spaces am I in, and what is being talked about in the environments that I choose to spend my time. That was one part of it. And then the other part, I feel finally clicked for me just before I went live, which was in speaking about, or, unconsciously attempting to put a little shiny bow on what it is that I do, and I'm, expression, people come to me for expression and creativity and blah, 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 and this center and that center and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, okay, yeah. And above and beyond that, and let's, as much as I love human design, it can also, when, with somebody like me, I can get fixated on wanting something to be the answer, because I don't love the feeling of being in the void. I don't love the feeling of feeling a bit lost or not knowing where I'm going or what to do or how to be. Those things still feel destabilizing in my system. But every time I feel them, I allow myself to feel them more deeply, and I allow myself to come back and just be with them and not make those feelings of feeling destabilized, feeling unclear, feeling confused, feeling a bit lost, or what the fuck. Allowing those things to just be, rather than trying to push or force my way through them or find some kind of resolution. that just creates unnecessary pressure in my system, and I don't do well with it. I don't like it. I don't like how it feels. It feels like someone's got my sacral and they're just going on it. So for me, I decided just for the last few days to kind of elevate my consciousness to a place where I'm not even thinking about modalities or maps or fucking human design or 5-element theory or chakras or whatever, right? Or astrology or anything. Like I just allowed myself to just kind of tap into that void space and just know that every map and modality, regardless of how potent and like accurate it is, it came from a place beyond what we can access with the conscious mind. And it was channeled through a human. So we all have the ability to actually access our own map. We all have that. And sometimes using another map or modality can help us unlock certain things that allow us to connect with what that is. And it allows us to go, holy shit, yes, this is amazing. And it's pointed me over here, and now I have access to all of this new information that wants to come through me. So any map or modality for me has always been about being a springboard to becoming more deeply connected with source, but not just human to source connection, because in my mind that's still like a separation. It's really to how can I the humanness is like saying to me, oh Nolly, you're going there, you're about to say some shit. And I'm like, yeah, fucking hell, let's go, champ. So what wants to come through is, rather than this continual need to intellectualize our connection with source, I really feel like I just have this deep desire to be source embodied. You know? There is no separation. The separation is where we fuck ourselves up. Because when we separate ourselves from the fact that we are literally, hello tattoo, we are fucking stardust in human form. Like when we separate ourselves from that and we try and logic and like scale or stack or systematize or whatever the fuck we do in business, right? It's like as soon as we start intellectualizing, there's nothing wrong with intellect. Intellect is, it's incredibly potent and it is a very valuable part of the human experience. And yet, how often do you take each day to simply sit and allow yourself to feel source embodied? And I know it might seem like it's overly simplistic, but why is that a bad thing? Like, why do we need things to be so fucking complicated, and a grid and charts and channels and gates and fucking chakras and like, and again, I get it. I am a big lover of lots of different maps and modalities. I use lots of different modalities in my work and in my personal practice. And yet, when we get lost because we're looking outside of ourselves at something rather than receiving it, feeling it in the body, and then moving from that place, it's like a metal imbalance in 5 elements, It's like, there's another map for you. It's like we're so busy trying to like be perfect or make like have a logical understanding of something that isn't really logical. It just seems like it is. We can only truly understand any of these maps, modalities, when we receive them, feel them in our bodies. And again, it's like we have to be able to digest the information. We have to be able to hold the information in the body and move with it and know which pieces feel like, ugh, get rid of that. That doesn't really resonate with me, even if it resonates with someone else. Even if it seems to be working real fucking well for someone else, if it feels like in your body, is probably not for you. So I'm really feeling a call to, I think it's like, I know that people come to me for my work because they know that I'm going to drop kick them into their body, and they're going to end up accessing a deeper level of wisdom, satisfaction, peace, and their intuition's going to go through the fucking roof, and they're going to have to start fucking listening to it because they have no choice. When people work with me, their intuition kind of goes and gets turned the fuck up. So they start to have to listen to it. And in my mind, I feel some people resist that. Like, they know they want to work with me and they'll come and dip their toe in, but they're like, well, I'm not sure that I'm really ready to actually trust myself. I'm not sure I'm ready. People come to me and say, like, I just really want to trust my intuition. And I'm like, great, let's fucking do it. And then there's this sense of like, not actually really wanting to trust it, because if you really trust it, you might have to do things that feel fucking scary. But the beautiful thing is, there is nothing to be afraid of when you are deeply in tune with who you are at your core. When you are so dropped into your body and so in deep, deep trust of who you are, your sovereignty, there really is nothing to be afraid of. So it's the antidote, trusting yourself and your intuition, allowing yourself to be source embodied while still having a deeply pleasurable, delicious human experience. To me, that is why we're here. And this is the work that I get to do with people and with myself on a daily basis. And these are the conversations I desire to have. Like, I like talking about money. I like talking about business. I like talking about, like expression and people really getting themselves out there, and women activating themselves into this fully expressed fucking fiery badasses going out and having, making shit happen, calling magic into their lives. That's fucking baller, and I love it. And it comes from a place of helping people, assisting, facilitating, embodying a level of trust in myself and in my intuition that I can help other people do the same. It's that calibration. The word calibration is like thrown around the coaching industry these days, but it's a very valuable word, because essentially it's nothing that I'm going to teach you necessarily is new, right? You can go and Google how to do a lot of shit online now. You can read a lot of fucking books if you really want to. The difference is when you come and work with somebody like me and you get all up in my in my field, there's a level of permission. There's a level of frequency adjustment that happens naturally because I am me. And the same is true of you, right? Everyone has an energetic field. And if they choose to continue nurturing their own internal frequency above and beyond anything else and anyone else and whoever they think they're meant to be in the world, when you start really anchoring into the self, into yourself, your heart, your core, you become a radiant field of permission for others to do the same. So that's what I have to say to you today. Thank you for being here. I tried to love your comment, Jess, and then it tried to kick you off of my live stream, and I was like, no, thank you. She gets to stay. How dare you? Hi, Zoe. So yeah, these are the things I have to say. Let me just go back. I saw like a juicy comment from Marilyn. I love it, Marilyn. Exactly. So yeah, that's what I have to say. And if this has resonated with you, then please share it when I post it on my grid. And know that if you like to talk about stuff that's esoteric as fuck, if you are so ready, and I just feel there's like a level of relief in my system when I speak to this, because I can feel how important this is on the planet right now. I can feel how important it is for us as humans to start having conversations outside of, material wealth and social media, and understand, but really fucking understand. And I know my clients get this, which is why I know I can say this to you guys. To know that with energy work, with the work of frequency and internal alignment and attunement of your energy, this is where all of those physical results will come from. So it's not that we completely disconnect and go and live in a fucking mountain in rags and sit silently and Om Shanti our way to ascension. We're still having a human experience, and good. That's what we're meant to be doing. We can't, elevate the fucking consciousness on the planet if we're just sitting there going, it's gonna take fucking longer, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, being in life and living it and being a little bubbly example of what is possible for people on the planet is gonna have more of an impact than potentially, unless that's your calling. If it is your calling to go and sit in a white robe on a mountain and grow a beard, please, more power to you. There is no judgment. You go do what you are called to. However, for me, I know that that is not my calling. And though I do have hermit-like tendencies and I very much desire my own energy and my own company, a lot of that is because I know that in those moments, it's like I am gathering the energy. I am realigning myself with who I am now in any given moment. And I always know, and again, this is just trust, right? I trust that I will at some point feel like speaking to the world again. So I no longer in those void spaces where I feel like I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. I no longer scratch away at the inside of my brain trying to figure it out. I just allow myself to actually enjoy the space and the time away from being out in the world and transmitting out. I'm somebody who very much, when I have some inspiration, I have had a tendency in the past to be like, I'm inspired, put it out in the world. And all that did was create an energetic feeling of, and a deep, deep sense of being in deficit. It felt like, every time, it was almost like, okay, now I've eaten something, I'm just going to vomit it out. I was never really fully allowing myself to receive the nourishment, right? Earth imbalance. I was never really allowing myself to fully receive the nourishment of the lesson that I was learning first, because it was coming from a place of now I've got this wisdom and I have to share it now. I have to share it. People need this wisdom. And yes, that may have been coming from a place of a true desire to assist and teach and get this message out into the world for the good of the people, right? However, if I burn the fuck out and I feel undernourished and in deficit and deprived, I'm no fucking good to anybody. And how dare I not take care of myself first? Because no one else is going to put me first. No one else, yeah? No one else is going to put me first, and no one else is going to put you first, and nor should they have to. Because if we all were a little bit more fucking selfish and put ourselves first, wouldn't life be a glorious, glorious thing? So this is your permission to remember you get to receive nourishment from everything first. If you don't allow the aha moment to fully sink into the cells of your body and then live it first, and that doesn't mean you have to go and live it for 10 years to, really sink it in. It might just be it might even be just 10 minutes of sitting and really letting it be in your body before you share. But remember, if you are undernourished, what message does that really put out into the world? What frequency are you really transmitting? The energy of deficit, the energy of lack, the energy of you've got to give to others before you give to yourself. And that is not what we are fucking about in my world. So, remember, I always have space for the right person, for the person who feels that fuck yes, this is for me. This is for me, and I need this, like, now. She's the fucking one for me right now in this moment. I know if I work with this bitch, I'm gonna elevate like a motherfucker. I'm gonna expand. I'm gonna drop even more deeply into who I am at my core. I'm gonna feel satisfied. I'm gonna have more pleasure in my life. Things are gonna click into place, and life is gonna be even better than I could possibly imagine with my conscious mind. I always have space for those people in my one-to-one world. So if you are one of them, drop me a message and let's have a chat. Thank you so much for being here. This has been a pleasure. I love you. Bye.